and still continue to be treated with...
And sorry, forgive me for interrupting, but there was clearly, they were very slow to get on top of things, but are things not better now?
What, for the survivors, bereaved families?
Yes.
No, they're not. I've had somebody call me yesterday telling me that they've just got their bank account card and that back. They've gone to check their statement. The rent has been deducted for
The rent has been deducted for Grenfell Tower?
Yes.
Yvette Williams, thank you very much for that. Stay there, please, if you would, because we are joined on the line by the Conservative Kensington and Chelsea councillor, Catherine Faulks. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sarah.
But we'll come to that last point in just a moment. But first, Nicholas Paget-Brown had to go, didn't he?
I think he did the honourable thing. He had to go. It was a very clever stunt by the press to create this impression of chaos in a meeting that we were having. And I just want to explain, when the meeting was for all councillors of all parties to disseminate information about exactly what we are doing on the ground. And the press decided to get an ex parte application at the last minute, which means that the council had no right to reply or say what they were doing or see what the reasons that they had put forward to have it, the injunction put upon us. They arrived.
Why
at
did you try to hold
meeting.
it? Why did you try to hold it in private?
I can tell you very well why. I was actually in the town hall when people stormed into the town hall. It was very frightening. I was behind a door with a filing cabinet pushed in front of it while people bashed the wall down and smashed things in the wall. I was very shaken. I had to call the police on 999 from inside the council for the SWAT team to take me out. But this isn't about me.
No, but hold on a second. You're saying that it was held in private for reasons of security. That is not what Nicholas...
Public order.
Well,
yeah, it was
that is not
private.
What the council leader said yesterday. He said it was to avoid prejudicing the inquiry.
No, that was what he said for the reason for ending the meeting. The reason that we had given primarily to have the meeting in private was because we were worried there was a public order issue, which had been already demonstrated by the invasion we'd had of the council, which, by the way, when you say we weren't effective, the whole council chamber had to be evacuated for the whole afternoon on the Friday after the tragedy with all our officers. The media hasn't quite understood that the media storm has been one of the most challenging things for the council to get on top of this and do this job, because they're repeatedly saying we're not doing it.
The reason the council was stormed was because there was such anger at how disorganised the council were.
Well, I think you've got two questions there. I think actually the people that stormed the council weren't the local community. I think they were people who like doing that sort of thing, and I think they did a disservice to the local community. But I completely understand the anger, the frustration of the local community. Of course, we weren't immediately quick off the ground. It was an enormous tragedy. I don't know if everyone realised how complex and how vast this fire was. I challenge any borough in the whole country to have immediately had an action plan they could put into place.
So
but
is it now right
that
that external commissioners are imposed by government?
Well, I don't think that's a decision for me to say. It's a decision of government. It's a decision for our new chief executive,
You know
Barry
what
Quirk.
it's like in the council, though. Given, and you know what has happened. We're talking weeks on now. Do you think the council can handle this?
I do. What has been lost in all this media conversation is actually what has gone on the ground. I mean, you've always heard the negative stories, but have you heard the stories about how we got the schools back operating in 2 days? We managed to move 2 schools to different venues. We had Ed Sykes training all the teachers before their children came in. They advised on assemblies. We've been around all the communities. Whatever you hear, we have a very good relationship with our community centres, with our faith centres, because we've been here for the long term and we know them. And actually,
can I
you
get
hear
your
one noise.
Sorry, go on.
Well, I was just saying we hear this constant noise that no one was there and no one was doing anything. And I feel very frustrated. We have excellent officers in the council who have done a brilliant job.
So
They've
how
worked
do you
7 days
respond
a
to
week.
what we just heard from Yvette Williams, that somebody has had rent taken from their bank account for Grenfell Tower?
I'm very sorry to hear that, and I can understand that's very distressing. But if you think that at the moment
But why is the council not on that sort of obvious thing?
Oh, come on. I mean, I'm not saying it's a tiny thing. For them, it's a huge thing and it's very upsetting. But the council have had to house, they are in the process of trying to house 400 people. They've got people in hotels. They've put a social worker for every single family who is triaging them into a wraparound service. Now, I'm very sorry to hear that happened, but that person, if it's happened, will have a one-person connection to go to explain that's happened, who will help them sort it out.
So
now, I know you're hearing a lot of noise about nothing's happening, but actually, on the ground, there is a lot of hand-holding going on, and I haven't yet heard any of the media interview or talk to somebody who has received really the excellent services that we've been providing.
So, in your view, another council member should be elected to lead and another council member elected to be the deputy leader?
Well, that's the democratic process. We all have been elected as councillors, and early next week, as early as possible, we will have a meeting and that election process will be put into place, and someone will emerge as leader and that person will then choose their own cabinet. But I think people who keep saying the cabinet's failing are missing our excellent officers. What you have to remember is we are one of the only 2 boroughs in the country that has received an outstanding rating. We have very, very hard-working and dedicated people running our services, and our services have run well.
Catherine Faulks, thank you very much, and Yvette Williams before that, thank you.
It's now 21 minutes past 8. Sir Tom Stoppard will be